My stepmom manipulated me into getting a dog and now she wants $4,300. Alright, this story is a wild ride, so buckle up because we're diving deep into my chaotic childhood and the drama that's currently unfolding. To set the stage, my parents divorced when I was about 4. My dad eventually remarried this woman we'll call Karen, and at first things were good. She seemed nice enough. But as soon as she had her first child, everything changed. She flipped the switch from cool stepmom to a complete nightmare. My dad was working all the time, so he didn't really know what was going on at home. Karen started off with little things, invading my privacy, going through my phone and controlling every aspect of my life. I wasn't allowed to bring my phone upstairs or have any privacy at all. Then she started piling on ridiculous chores like cleaning the entire house, doing 4 loads of laundry every single day, and it wasn't just mine, it was everyone's, and walking myself to school, which was a super long walk. She stayed at home doing nothing but playing video games all day, but somehow I was the one doing everything for her. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Karen's punishments were on another level. One time she made me sit at the dining table from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to think about what I did. Another time she trashed my room in the middle of the night because I apparently hung her clothes wrong, then made me clean it up. When I got bad grades, she'd make me sleep in the game room without a bed, only allowing me to leave for food. Yeah, this was my life throughout elementary and middle school. Karen hated my birth mom too. She blocked me from speaking to her and even demanded that me and my brother cut off contact, which led to me not speaking to my mom for 4 years. She was obsessed with the idea that I loved my birth mom more than her, and would scream at me for it. Birthdays? Forget about it. I wasn't allowed to celebrate because apparently I didn't deserve it. Fast forward to when I was about 14, during COVID, my dad and Karen got divorced. I thought things would get better, but nope, Karen wasn't done with me yet. Even after the divorce, we all lived in the same house and things between my dad and Karen just got worse. Once my dad got a girlfriend, Karen flipped. She convinced me my dad was horrible, and because I was living with her and still under her control, I believed her. I lost contact with my dad for about half a year. When I turned 18, Karen still tried to control me, but I could see through her manipulation. My dad and I started talking again, but not a lot. Then one day my dad called and invited me on a trip to Japan with him and my family. I was super excited. This trip had been planned forever. But guess what? Karen surprised me with tickets to Hawaii for the same time. She knew about the Japan trip but played it off like she had no idea. At this point I was over it. I moved out of her house and into my best friend's, reconnected with my birth mom, and later moved in with my dad. But like a true master manipulator, Karen wasn't done with me yet. After a few months she reached out, claiming she was going to therapy and had changed. She apologized for everything and wanted to rebuild our relationship. Against my better judgment, I gave her another chance. We started hanging out and things were surprisingly okay. She even helped me out by giving me money to move my birth mom's old car across states. Now here's where it gets crazy. One night I went to dinner with my boyfriend and his family, and we stopped by a pet store next door. My boyfriend's brother was obsessed with dogs and dragged us inside. And then I saw him, an adorable little Corgi. I was instantly in love, and my depression had been bad recently, so I thought maybe getting a dog would help. I called my parents back to back. My dad said it was a bad idea, but Karen was like, "I'm on my way." She showed up, hyped me up, and even offered to buy the dog as a gift. She told me I could pay her back slowly over time, $100 a month, no rush. I was hesitant, but Karen kept reassuring me that it was a great idea. Against my gut feeling I caved. And at first everything was fine. But soon the reality of taking care of a puppy while juggling college and a job hit me hard. I started talking to my birth mom and she suggested I send the dog to live with her for 2 years while I got my life sorted. It sounded like the best option for the dog too. My mom's place had a big backyard and he could run around and be happy. But when I told Karen the plan, she flipped out. She accused me of being irresponsible, called the pet store to tell them I wasn't taking care of the dog, and things spiraled into a huge argument. She said some really hurtful things and ended it by telling me I couldn't afford my own life. I blocked her after that, telling her I'd pay her back for the dog eventually. The next day she cut me off the family phone plan, even though it was in the divorce agreement that she'd cover it for me and my sister. My dad had to rush and get me on his plan. Then a few days later I get a Venmo request for $4,300. She wanted me to pay her back for the dog, the car shipping, and even the last phone bill she paid for me. I'm a freshman in college working part-time at Nike. There's no way I can pay her that much money right now. I know I'll have to pay her back at some point, but honestly, this whole situation feels like a mess that she dragged me into. My dad says I was manipulated and I believe him, but I also feel guilty for not standing up for myself sooner. And that's where I'm at now. Anyway, that's the story of how my stepmom manipulated me into getting a dog and is now coming after me for thousands of dollars. If you made it this far, thanks for listening to my wild story. Don't forget to subscribe.